Alcoholic moron refuses to pay his taxes. We have a sponsored video here, and if you want a sponsored video, see the link tree below, send me $50, and I'll make a video about whatever you want. I don't do stock price predictions or stock valuations. So in this video by Jacob Jones Money, day drinking while refusing to pay my taxes. Apparently this man that likes to drink during the day, which is insanely degenerate, doesn't want to pay his taxes because I don't know. I guess he's a sovereign citizen. Let's see what he has to say.
But I'm sure all of y'all are curious to know, why am I refusing to pay my taxes this year? Why am I not paying my taxes? And why have I decided to open myself up to legal liability and possible jail time because I'm not going to be paying my taxes? Well, let's go ahead and start with why I'm not paying my taxes this year. Why do I refuse to pay my taxes? Well, the reason is quite simple, frankly put. It's because I don't want to. I don't want to pay my taxes this year because I want the money that I made last year. I want the money I made last year because I want to spend it on things that I want. I want the money.
Wow, this is already starting off great. Child level logic. Oh, I want the money because I want the money because I don't have to pay the taxes because I pay the taxes means I don't have to pay my money to the government and I want the money for myself. Wow, man, very in-depth and, very good analysis. No, not childlike at all.
Money that I earned last year to go towards the things that I love, like alcohol and tobacco products.
I consume alcohol and, well, it's technically not tobacco, but I do nicotine pouches now because I'm healthy. But those don't cost enough to consume your tax liability, okay? You can definitely pay your taxes and still afford alcohol and tobacco products, unless he's buying, like, top shelf liquor, which, based on this guy's eyes, he's probably doing. He's probably guzzling $1,000 bottles of vodka every day.
And I want to buy more alcohol and more tobacco products than ever before. And so I need to make sure I have as much money as possible. Like, I'm not willing to take a loan out of the bank to buy alcohol and tobacco products, but I am willing to not pay my taxes to buy alcohol and tobacco products. I mean, like, I think it's pretty reasonable, isn't it? It's pretty reasonable to not pay my taxes because I just want to buy more of the things I love. After all, life is meant to be enjoyed, if you ask me at least. Of course, everybody has differing opinions, but
alcohol gives you hangovers. I mean, it's enjoyable in the moment, but the older you get, young man, the less desirable alcohol is. I can confirm that for a fact.
I personally live my life in the way that I want to. I try to enjoy my life to the fullest. And what I want to do this year is buy as much alcohol and as many tobacco products as possible. That's what I want to do. And so I need to make sure I have as much money as possible. But I don't want to go into debt over this. I just want to make sure I'm already using the money that I've earned to do this. I've put in...
You're technically in debt to the IRS, and they know how much you made as long as tax forms were reported to them via 1099s, and they will come after you, and they will assess very high interest and penalties because you refuse to pay your taxes. I highly recommend you pay your taxes, okay? The IRS isn't just going to give you an interest-free loan. Okay, you owe them money, and they're going to assess a lot of punitive interest and penalties. So you want to ideally pay it as fast as possible.
The effort to make sure that I have enough money to spend on the amount of alcohol and tobacco products this year that I want to buy. But the IRS is wanting to cut that money, and I'm not giving it to them. I'm not giving it to them. I am not giving the IRS not even a single penny. Nope, not even giving them a single penny. And I mean, like, the due date for taxes has already passed. Didn't pay them. Not going to pay them. And I haven't gotten a letter in the mail from the IRS saying, yo, bro, you didn't pay your taxes.
Oh, trust me, you will.
Good, because I'm not going to pay my taxes. I don't care if they send me a letter or not. I'm not paying my taxes. It's not happening. Because I want my money that I have been saving, that I have been, well, being very frugal with for the last year.
Yeah, and I want the military to protect me, and I want roads, and I want my Social Security, and I want my Medicare, all that great stuff, okay? And I don't know where the money from that comes from, but I like that as well. But I guess I'm entitled to that, even though I'm not paying taxes for alcohol and tobacco.
To go towards the things that I love.
That's definitely Coke. I hope that's Coke.
It's really as simple as that, in all honesty. It's really no more complex than that. That's why I'm refusing to pay my taxes, literally just because I want more money to spend on the things that I love. Now, some folks out there may say that by refusing to pay my taxes and by not paying my taxes and making a video all about the fact that I am refusing to pay my taxes, some people may say that I'm putting a target on my back for the IRS to, well, go after me and to try to sue me or put some sort of law down and be like, yo, you got to pay or you're going to jail or something like.
No, I mean, basically how it works is, let's say you have a job at an employer. Well, they're going to issue a W-2 at the end of the year, due by January 31st. A copy of that W-2 gets sent to the government. They have a copy, and they use automated systems to determine whether you've properly reported the income. They will automatically catch you and send you a note. The only way you can really cheat taxes, an easier way, and I'm not saying to do this, is if you own a business, because you can hide income and overstate expenses in various ways. But if you get audited, your cheeks are going to get blown out into the fifth dimension. But there are ways to do it. But if you have a wage job, W-2 job, and you have a couple brokerage accounts, the IRS automatically gets a copy of all that information. You cannot get away from it. And they will generate a letter, they will catch you, and you will pay interest and penalties. What a freaking clown.
Like that kind of thing. Some people might say that not only doing this might put a target on my back, but especially making a video and talking about why I'm not doing this and the fact that I'm not going to be paying my taxes. I'm like, I think it's pretty reasonable that some people might say that doing this and making this video is putting a target on my back right now. And that's very reasonable. And I absolutely think that making this video and doing this is absolutely putting a target on my back. Don't care though. I don't care. Don't care. You know, whatever happens, happens, and I don't regret my choice one bit. By doing this, I am absolutely opening myself up to legal liability and possible jail time. And that's perfectly fine. But you know what happens if you don't pay your taxes? You have more money, which means I can spend the money that I didn't pay the IRS on a lawyer, which granted would then eat into my alcohol and tobacco budget for the year, which is
you'd actually be saving money by not paying penalties and interest, but okay.
Like the entire reason why I didn't pay my taxes to begin with. But either way, I still don't mind because I'm not paying the IRS. And you know, I'm not a fan of the IRS. I'm really not. I mean, like, who is? Nobody's a fan of the IRS. Does anybody really like paying taxes? I don't think anybody does. I don't even think people who work for the IRS like paying taxes, in all honesty. And while I'm not really big on paying lawyers either, I don't know, just not my thing, I do think I'd probably much rather pay a lawyer than the IRS. Now, the problem comes to...
Oh, I'm just not going to pay my taxes and then I'll just pay a lawyer and it'll all be good. No, you'll pay the lawyer, or they won't even take your case because you're a clown. And then you'll lose the case with the IRS, and then you'll owe all the taxes you didn't pay plus penalties and interest, so you'll lose net on net even more money. This guy's such a dork.
To be if I have to then pay a lawyer and the IRS. That's the issue. So if I'm going to be paying a lawyer, I got to make sure it's somebody like Saul Goodman, because I got to make sure that I get that case thrown out so I just don't have to worry about my taxes that I supposedly owe the IRS. I don't owe the IRS anything. It's my money, after all. And I have more of a use for my money than they have for my money. That's what I'm saying, at least, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, at least. I think I have more of a use for my money than the IRS has for my money. Yeah. Getting a buzz going. Feeling good. Overall, though, yeah, no, I'm not paying my taxes this year. I refuse to do so. I refuse to pay my taxes. And nobody is going to force me to pay my taxes. Nobody is going to convince me to pay my taxes. I don't care who the IRS sends to my door. I'm not paying my taxes. Excuse me. It's not happening. I'm not paying my taxes. If some sexy woman shows up at my door and she goes, "Hey, Jacob Jones, I'm your new neighbor. Nice to meet you," I'm slamming the door on her because I know she's an IRS agent. Because how would she know my name?
That's actually true. There is no way a sexy woman would just go to this clown's door and introduce herself and try to ingratiate herself and potentially seduce this man. He is 100% right. That would definitely be a fed.
If she wasn't an IRS agent. I'm just saying. I don't care who the IRS sends, whether it be some sexy lady, whether it be a box turtle. I don't care who the IRS sends. I'm not paying my taxes. It's not happening. Not paying my taxes. Not doing it.
This guy made a 30-minute... I'm glad I don't have to watch this whole freaking video. I would have charged like triple to watch this whole freaking stupid dorky clown show. I don't want to pay my taxes. I want to drink beer and alcohol. Wow, I'm so entertained. I'm going to subscribe to you. Not.
There are so many mosquitoes all around me, though. And I seriously think I gotta literally stand up real quick because there are so many mosquitoes and I'm just gotta get them dispersed.
Yeah, you know what mosquitoes are? They're leeches and bloodsuckers. Kind of like you by not paying your taxes.
It is like really pretty warm out here today. And I came out here not thinking that there were gonna be like a ton of mosquitoes. I was very mistaken because there are so many of them. It's literally crazy. And so to try to get them to go away a bit, you know, I think I'm gonna pull a tactic I've learned over the years.
Oh, he smoked. Ugh. Now, I indulge in cigars, and I've done dip before. There is nothing more disgusting than smoking cigarettes. The stench, the staining of your teeth, the stinking of your house. Have you ever kissed somebody that smokes? It is the most disgusting thing on the planet. Oh! And then the worst smell is when somebody smokes, it gets into their clothes, and then it rains. It's like wet dog smoke piss on steroids. It's the most disgusting thing ever.
Of setting up a citronella candle. Hopefully that'll work a little bit better than not. We will find out. We will find out. But citronella candles, sometimes they work on mosquitoes, sometimes they don't. It really does depend on how hungry the mosquitoes are. And since they're swarming so much today, I get the impression they're probably pretty hungry.
Yeah, they see one of their cousins in you, scammy, blood-sucking leech.
Another thing that I want to spend my hard-earned money on, and another reason why I'm not paying my taxes this year, is because I need to make sure I have extra room in my budget to afford a screened-in porch, because I don't have one right now. And the reason the mosquitoes are coming after me right now is because I don't have a screened-in porch. If I had a screened-in porch, no mosquitoes would be able to get to me, and I'd be able to day drink in peace. But the mosquitoes are bothering me right now. I'm pretty sure they're trying to get their blood tax. I'm pretty sure, like, mosquitoes are literally nature's IRS. I said it. Mosquitoes are...
Good, I hope you get malaria.
Are literally nature's IRS. They're looking for their blood tax. And when they take your blood, I'm like, look at that. Look at that. I am getting eaten alive right now. Look at that. That is very itchy right now. But they are literally nature's IRS. And when they take your tax money, when they take your blood, i.e. tax money, you feel itchy, you feel angry, you don't feel good.
God, this is such slop content.
I think that's a good way of describing the IRS and mosquitoes. The IRS is like mosquitoes to human society, and mosquitoes are like nature's IRS. Mosquitoes are nature's IRS. The internal...
No, you are the leech and bloodsucker. Society has expenses, national defense, social programs, roads, etc., etc. And you want that for free. You want to leech it off of other people. You're the leech, boy!
Internal Revenue Service is literally a giant mosquito.
Yes, because mosquitoes take your blood and then they, I guess, give you something in return. You actually do get stuff in return. It may not be tangible, but a lot of the taxes you pay, especially FICA, Medicare, whatever, hopefully, ideally, maybe not, in the long run, you will be able to claim against those programs, and you definitely have a military, of which I am a part of, thank you for paying your taxes, to defend and support you.
That's a good descriptor, I feel like. Yeah. Mosquitoes ain't gonna stop me from drinking, though. That's for sure. I'm gonna keep drinking and keep enjoying myself. And I've got more Dr. Pepper for another drink.
Yeah, he's not drinking.
But first off, I've got to finish off the drink I have in front of me.
this was hard to watch. He's just so. It's not because he's like being stupid. It's just I just don't like his presentation. I didn't think this was funny at all. Ha ha ha! I want to drink and smoke. 46,000 views. Anyway, that's the sponsored video. Now, if you do want to pay your taxes like a normal functioning member of society, I am a certified public accountant. I have a tax preparation business. You can see that in the pinned comment below. You don't want to be like this moron, refusing to pay your taxes and then incurring massive penalties and interests when the IRS comes for those sweet, sweet cheeks. Anyway, like I said, this was a sponsored video. You can find that in the pinned comment below. It's $50. I talk about whatever you want. No stock price predictions or stock valuations. Have a wonderful, delicious, superstitious, cockalicious weekend.